listening to Backstage with the Simple Church podcast. Jordan not here, wearing a lot of hats. We're getting things going.
We need a producer.
Hey,
We're hiring.
The good thing is I sang real soft, so I didn't blow my
Eyeball out.
Oh, that's
eyeball
true.
out.
And this is being recorded, so if your doctor sees this,
Oh, he knew. I mean, we had a little follow-up again this morning.
Okay.
Cataract 1 is in the
you
books.
told him you had a podcast intro to do.
Yeah.
I
clear
told
for that.
Mallory the Venn diagram of people who get cataract surgery and who want to sing rock and roll probably don't cross over.
No, because he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, man, we're singing Sunday. It's Man Day. We're rock and rolling. And he's like, no, you're not singing
you're
rock
not.
and rolling.
No. You said you said you told him you were singing for the church at first.
Yeah, and he said,
He's
that'll
like,
be
yeah,
fine. That's fine. I'm like, no, what about
it's a
rock
little
and roll?
different.
A couple hymns.
Man, they had Kiss. He had your God gave rock and roll. Alan had them up waving their
They
hands.
were fired up. They said 11 for sure. That was the
Wave
most
your
rock and roll.
hands. Oh, it's just funny because
That's so
it
It's
just,
who we are.
It just
Man Day.
a little bit different. Yeah.
That's right. How was your
The-
Father's Day?
I did nothing.
That's what I wanted to do too.
Same
That age.
here.
We're all that point.
Yeah,
in
I
life.
did. Saturday we cooked for Big Daddy and got all that stuff done, which was fun.
Oh, hey there.
And then we Sunday. She asked what I want to do. I said I'd rather do nothing on Sunday. So we did church and all that, and then I just came home and
That is something.
yeah, it's a lot.
When you do it all
It
morning,
is.
that's right.
Yeah,
But yeah, from the time I sat on that couch at 1, there was nothing going on.
That's right. Watch US Open.
I did.
Yeah, you're not a
I
fan
wasn't
of.
thrilled.
I was pulling for Burns.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely pulling for him.
You were saying he didn't like
I'm
winning.
not a huge Wyndham Clark guy, but it's
Well,
fine.
I didn't care if he won or not. I was just pulling for Burns. I thought he had it.
Yeah, Shane.
He played really well. Especially to come back and battle through. Especially after what happened to him last year and losing out that close. He did well.
I mean, I guess he gets a good check too. It
Yeah, he's not
it
sad.
probably
Not too
don't hurt,
bad.
but you want to win. I know.
Absolutely.
I get it.
He's a fire.
That's for all
guy,
the
too.
dads out there. Every woman's like, "What are y'all talking
Golf
about?"
talk.
Yeah,
No golf.
Golf
no
talk,
more. We'll
baby.
be done. That's right. Maybe some soccer talk.
Ooh,
Get into that. We had
World
some at
Cup.
lunch. That's it.
Yeah, we're talking about doing a World Cup watch party
Breaking news.
out there on the turf. Like when we
USA.
get to the next round, not this round. I mean, not this final
Yeah, the
game.
knockout
but,
stage.
But when it gets
Mhm.
there,
32.
I said that's a college life group, young person thing for
Party.
sure.
There'll be
Oh,
some
yeah.
folks that want to come out, I think.
I mean, yeah, if
It's
it's
exciting when they're good.
if it's a night, it'll be cooler.
Yep.
So you could open
And we
up.
should
Back in
get
much
we
cooler.
should get a good draw. We should win that matchup no matter who we get.
Every 4 years.
Once we
care
get
about
unlucky.
soccer.
Yeah, because who
We'll see.
really? Yeah, we'll see.
That's right. First time since 1930, the U.S. has won back-to-back games,
Mhm.
2 in a row. 100 years.
First time I've ever watched one, and I'm
There you
56
go.
years old.
The-
Crazy.
The fever. Got it. But we're not talking about all that. We're talking about the Simple Church today. We had Man Day. We hope you had a good Father's Day. All the dads out there, let us know in the comments what you got to do. We grilled some steaks. Nora and Eliza have started eating steak. Mallory doesn't do red meat. And so I got T-bones on sale, and it was the biggest steak Nora's ever seen. And she was fired up about it.
That's awesome.
I love it.
That's right. Got some meat eaters in the house finally.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She don't ever eat red
There we
meat.
go.
Mallory doesn't. Mallory's vegetarian for 10 years.
I didn't know that.
Her mom told her when she was like 8, she didn't like it, and she's like, "Well, you don't have to eat it then." And she didn't eat it till college.
What did we have when I came over? We came over to dinner. It was a ground turkey.
Oh yeah,
For
ground
those
turkey.
tacos,
Yep.
those are good. But
Yeah, no, we do. Yeah, I'll do that. But
she'll do
just
that.
added
But yeah,
back
no
meat.
red meat.
but
College.
that's now that would still be meat.
Yeah, she's not vegetarian anymore, but she did not eat any meat for 10 years. And then she started eating meat in college for her iron levels low and
Right.
decided to do it. But
Mhm.
she only does turkey and a little bit of chicken.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, okay, I got you. That's why I was.
Nora and
wondering.
Eliza?
That's what they
breaking
tell
that
you.
cycle. Willis not in it yet.
That's awesome. Yeah, and now I'm just less on red meat.
Yes. You're going the other
Just
way.
a little less.
Well, no, you
I
just gotta
never
have a
eat
little
much.
bit.
That's
Yeah,
all.
it's just in moderation.
there you go. Moderation.
Moderation. So thanks for joining us. If you've got questions or comments on Facebook Live, you're listening to this later, you can join us every Monday, 3:30 on Facebook. Like Kathy Carter here watching said she loved Justin's message.
Kathy, I
Felt
can't
like
believe
that
she
was-
said she wasn't going to watch. I'm proud of her. She had an appointment or something today. She made
She
it.
was
That's what I
there.
love
There you
about
go.
Kathy.
Kathy
yeah, she was
committed.
there.
Committed, son.
That's it.
East
And
Texas.
She said she doesn't eat meat either for the last 14 years.
I didn't know that about Kathy.
I didn't know
There
that
you go.
either.
Let us know your dietary choices in the
Yeah.
comments. Whatever you want to share. Like Tina watching in Houghton, sitting in the pool. Billy
Yeah.
Doherty saying, "Afternoon, gentlemen." He had some health stuff this week. Praying for you, Billy, going
yeah.
through and doing that. And we appreciate you tuning in and watching. If you're listening, join us on Mondays. We got questions, comments, things you want to know about the message, stuff going on at the Simple Church.
It'd be interesting if they submit questions. That would help us because I really want to answer their questions. And then speaking of that, this week, okay, just a little breaking news for you. I'll be doing the next steps never before done in the history of Simple Church. So Evan will be speaking. Go ahead and get it out there.
There you go.
And you're covering because Nora had her surgery and it knocked you out of that day. So you're
Thank you, Brian Reed.
you're catching up this week. And then I'm doing a class for new partners that have taken the steps, we're kind of trying a new thing and answering a few more questions behind the scenes in the overflow room.
Absolutely.
So, you know.
Because they had questions coming out of that, right?
Yeah,
was
so then,
submitted through that, and that
then you
was-
just kind of, it's so fast. So this is another venue to do that. Like, you don't have to come to a class. If there's something you want to know about Simple Church or anything behind the scenes, this is a great way to do it. Because if I give my time to it, I obviously want to be helpful. I mean, we can talk about sports and all that stuff, but really, if it's like something backstage you have always wanted to know or needed clarification on, whether that's the sermon or something in the church or something that's coming up. I mean, there's a lot going on, like even the, 4th of July event. I mean, we're trying to get all of that stuff going on because there's no services on July 5th. So just as a record, July 4th, we're doing a big party down here. And then we're taking off the Sunday after 4th of July, which we have done for many years. That's not just this year.
Twice a year.
But we've never done something on 4th of July like we're doing now. This is 250th, and we're throwing a little bit of party.
And we got some space
Fireworks
now.
off the bridge. I mean,
Right.
you got food trucks. You got inflatables.
Live music
bomb
outside.
pops, live music. So if you're looking for something to do, we're starting at 6. Everybody's wondering if it'll be too hot. Just come out when you feel like it. So, we're going to
Fireworks start
open up.
9:30-ish.
Yeah, and we're going to open up downstairs so you can go watch baseball in the air conditioning if you want. A little Americana.
Some inflatables for kids.
We got an apple pie that we're going to be selling in the cafe. A little
You
do
can't
good.
beat a free fireworks show. Man.
No.
It's the biggest one in the area every year.
And it's coming off the bridge, which is pretty cool looking.
Can't get much closer.
No, you can't. You're very close.
Literally.
Yeah, I was talking. Saltgrass is a cool little thing.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
speaking of that, they're doing $100, and you can have a table right there by the bridge.
Ooh.
Bring your food to you, have your drinks to you. I mean, that's a pretty good deal.
That
to
is a
reserve.
good
And you
deal.
don't have to worry about bringing a chair or anything. You can sit down there.
Air conditioning.
Well, they're outside. They're
Oh,
putting them
you're
on the
outside.
patio.
Okay.
No, they're putting them where you're under the fireworks.
Hanging out there watching.
So
Yeah,
it's
you
kind of a
can
great
be
date
up
night.
close and
And we're
personal
going to
with 'em.
do that for some of our people, too. We're going to give one table away. We've already bought one, but then we're going to do some for volunteers. So
There we go.
it'll be kind of fun.
The way to do it. So check out Boom at the Boardwalk July 4th. We'll put the link in the show notes there to find out more about it. You can also download the Simple Church app, get all the details of that. And I need that link for Saltgrass. We can do
Yeah.
it. We can pass it out, and you can sign up for that. And then, yes, Joanne tuning in said no service on July 5th, Sunday. That's correct.
Yep.
So no service that day. Tina said she's coming. Brian Hutchinson said peace. Dave Kruger's here watching. And then Matt Sanders said, I'm in New Orleans watching, and I eat meat.
He obviously looks like he's a protein consumer. He's got a
Oh,
little.
yeah.
He's got some biceps. He's feeding.
Absolutely.
It's
Definitely.
awesome. Well, that's the thing is really when it comes back to who's coming or who's not coming. Just spread the word. We put it at KTBS. We put something out there to help sponsor the fireworks, and so it'll be something we've never done before. But let's just see what happens. There's a lot going on. You can go down to East Bank too. I mean, obviously Hurricane Alley will have something. Bo Jackson and them are doing
Chasing
something.
Aces. there.
Chasing Aces is going to be doing stuff. So
Regal.
Regal's going to do 2 movies. I think they're trying to get The Patriot back, which I really want to see
You
it.
ever seen it?
No.
Oh.
You've never seen The Patriot?
He's a
Is
different
that
generation.
Mel Gibson?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
an excellent Americana
I'll check
movie.
that
I
out.
mean, it's
It's
fictional,
R.
but it's fun.
I know, and that is a classic. I don't
Yeah,
think I
it's
ever
an
made
R,
time to
not
see
a
it,
family
but,
movie, but it's one of those guy
It's
movies
good.
for sure. And that'd be fun to see. But then Young Washington is a family movie.
It's really cool. Angel Studios, the David animated movie was a big hit earlier this year.
So
and-
they're going
Dom
to do a
has
story
been
of George
beating me
Washington.
down about seeing Young Washington.
Really?
I don't know what his obsession is
Fired
with it. He
up.
is
There you
fired
go.
up
It looks
about
really
it.
good. We'll put a trailer in the show notes, and it's the story of George Washington as a kid and kind of his origin story.
Yeah, I got to see it.
It's
Don't we have a little early link?
I don't think we can share that publicly. So you got it.
Me, that's what I'm saying. I
Yes,
want to
I
go
sent
see
it
it.
to
Then
you.
I can talk to you. I hadn't watched it yet. I may watch that tonight.
There we go.
Absolutely. You got the sneak peek. We got some.
Well, then I can talk about it. I
Yeah.
can tell you, like, don't miss it. It's going to be good.
So, Young Washington's a new movie coming out. Go check
Go to
that
Regal.
out.
Go to Regal. Get out of the heat for a little while. Play pickleball. Get out of the heat.
$5 deal on 4th of July.
Yep. So you can play. Go in there and and also we're working on the brine. I talked to Gabe today.
This is
Little
inside
breaking
knowledge.
news.
There we go.
And he is trying to be some kind of food and drink open on that day.
That's
We
gonna
were
be in the
working with.
pickler.
Yeah, it'll be outside. We may do it around the carousel. He may actually do it around the carousel right there, so you can come down and you can still see it. So it'd have food down there and place
That's the spot we watched the drones at Christmas. It was a great spot.
Yeah,
Everybody-
so he's thinking about doing on that. So we're working on that with the city. Thank y'all, Tommy and Chris and all the people in the city trying to make it happen.
Good idea.
Carlotta, she's just great to help us out. So trying to get all that done just so there'll be stuff for people to do. We start having positive
People
fun.
complains, nothing to do in Bossier.
Now you're
4th of
gonna have
July,
some.
There's a party.
And we may have, what'd we say? We may have even a watch party come up for the old soccer coming
World
up.
Cup.
The old football.
Football.
I do want to hype up Regal and Pickler a little bit because we went to both last week. We went to
Yes, we did.
Pickler for your birthday, played pickleball, had a great time.
Pickleball Friday.
How was that?
I only lost once. I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
I stayed on the court the entire time.
All
I just
right.
want
I only
want
lost
that
twice.
to be
One of them
known.
was to Josh.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it.
And then went and took the student ministry out for Toy Story 5 on Friday. It was a great movie, great turnout. We had like 80, 90 kids there, something like that.
That's awesome.
It was fun. Good movie, too. Good movie.
I'm ready to see it. Now, I know you have your comments. You
I
keep-
heard
All I'm
about
gonna
your
say,
rating.
I had to teach my kids what recency bias means because they walked out of it saying it was the best Toy Story. I said, "You're just saying that because you just saw it."
Right. Well, that's okay.
That's right.
Let
us
them live
know
the
what you
moment.
think. That's right. It was a fun movie. It was a good one. Not the best Toy Story.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it
But
later.
we watched all four
I got
leading up
I
to
got
it
a lot
with
of
Willa.
questions.
What's so funny about the early ones, how bad the animation was.
But
you
it
don't
was-
realize it, but it was cutting edge.
Right.
Mhm.
1995. My
Yeah.
sister was born 1 week before. My grandma took me to see it. And it was the first ever fully animated with a
Yeah.
computer animated
Yeah,
movie.
I remember.
And it's
That's
changed a lot
Pixar.
in 30 years.
Mhm.
I haven't seen it, but I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to Supergirl. Let's
That's
go ahead
right,
and put it
we are
out
going
there.
to
It's
see that
coming this
Go
weekend.
support Regal.
Come
Our
on, yeah, go to
partners over
Regal.
here at the board.
Yep.
It's been packed. It was busy.
Good.
Mhm.
We need it.
Every
Come
time
on.
we've been, it's been
We're trying to
busy.
get recliners. Y'all heard me? We're trying to get a remodel. We
Keep
want
it-
all upgraded.
Keep
So-
that business up in there.
Yep, and tell them. And when you go do a review, give them a strong review, but then ask for recliners. I'm serious.
Yeah, online.
Like don't
Google review.
talk bad about them. Just go, hey man, we love it, but boy, we'd love it more if it had recliners. I'm trying to. I got this meeting coming up. Y'all heard me?
There you
I'm
go.
going to put the link. You can leave a review in the show notes.
Perfect.
Check it out.
We'll recruit the army.
We
Yep,
got a
come
legit
on.
question. Matt Sanders, getting serious for a minute.
Okay.
Come
After
on.
Man Day, several Christians in the church, quote unquote, feel like there's a masculinity crisis in America.
Mm-hmm.
Do you subscribe to that thought, or do you think the definition of masculinity is changing?
Ooh, boy, that's a
Right?
man. I love it when Matt Matt. You need to give me a heads up before you. I'm just kidding.
Email podcast.
Yeah,
at
no, I'm
simplechurch.tv.
joking, I'm joking, I'm
You can send
joking.
in questions during the week as well.
So,
I don't know. Go ahead, Josh.
I'm sorry, ask it one more time.
That's
I'd
right.
like to-
Go ahead.
So, do you feel like there is a masculinity crisis in America, and do you subscribe to that thought, or do you think the definition of masculinity is just changing?
Inside the church or in America?
He said in America.
Mm. Oh, I think there's always a battle.
Definitely change it in America.
Yeah, I think there's just a battle going on. Some people say, well, he said church in parentheses. How was it?
In the church, they feel like it's a crisis of masculinity.
Yeah.
The church is pushing back against the changes.
We're
in
talking
culture.
big C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, all I'd say is talk is cheap. So, like, if you're going to go out and live it, then just go out and live it, and then do what you got to do to represent Christ in a way that honors and respects the way he did things, which includes being sensitive and open to the female. He set the record on how to do that. So what I mean is I think the reason it's happened is some of the females don't feel like they have a voice. If you went right now just in like the church where they're battling over whether a woman can speak or not.
I've seen a lot of rhetoric.
Biggest
on
All
that.
right,
convention
so-
in America, yeah.
Right. So, and we grew up in that convention, and they kicked out some of the biggest influential churches that we really part of would influence Simple Church. I mean, purpose driven. They kicked out Rick Warren and over all it. And I've tried to research a little bit more of all of this, like even on just that side of things, and I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination.
That's all
So I'm not a theologian, a biblical scholar, but just a little bit of research and a little bit of insight will show you that probably one of the best examples, if Jesus was against women, if it wasn't really supposed to be that way, then, and he didn't want them to speak or have anything, it's a little weird, like woman at the well. I mean, he told her, and then she went out immediately. He's like, go tell everybody, and they go out and have a huge influence, and people give their life to Christ. You have Phoebe in the New Testament that
Yeah.
Paul used in the book
Mary
of Romans
Magdalene.
to go, like, and most theologians believe that he gave it to her to go bring the letter to them, and that means she translated it, she spoke about it, she answered questions on it. So then I go, I don't know. I think it's just all a big power play, and it's all a little bit confusing. And so my thing is just try to be kind and try to be loving, and then also, yes, I think there's a place for, whatever you call it, masculinity or whatever, but I think there's also a place for, being feminine. I mean, I don't think that it's like,
And God is both, right? I mean, we try to give God
Yeah.
masculine gender, but he really is the presenting of both. And
Right.
that gets into confusion of what that means and how.
and
we
and,
like
and
to
I
do it.
get what people are saying in the world, because the world's confused
It
anyway.
can go too far.
Yeah, well, the world's just confused. So there's a lot of things that they get confused on. So our job, to me, is to help lovingly answer those questions, not judgmental or aggressive or, say, because it comes across weird. So, like, when you're trying to seek to understand, like, that question, I think Matt brings up a good point, is like, but what does that really mean across America? So I think the church just has to be clear. Like, we're pretty clear on our roles. We're pretty clear on but we're not also out there banging it over the head of people and telling people they're wrong and preaching, ugly
Against
stuff.
things.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Yeah,
What we're
I mean,
not
so I'm
for.
trying to be nice. I'm trying to
Right.
be, but I get why it's the way it is, because culture is really struggling through some of those things.
And there's a masculine crisis. I mean, men are changing what it is to be
Yes.
a man and all these different things and stereotypes. And
Yeah, and I think in some ways, yes, and then in some ways, maybe we're just have more media to talk about it. Because I'll give you, like, y'all weren't around during this, but like during the '80s, a Mr. Mom came out.
Yep.
Okay,
movie.
very, very popular movie, and there was roles because he switched to be the stay-at-home dad. And
the Nate Bargatze movie just came out. He had a single dad by
okay,
himself.
here
while
we
she was
are,
out
all
town.
these years.
Right,
It's the
yeah.
same thing. So what I mean is the roles I get, but like, to me, it's respect. Too, part of it is respecting both roles and what they're playing, and then in Christ model, serving. So what I mean is sometimes it's like, no, I'm going to tell you what's going to go on. It's like, Jesus, he was a loving servant that earned the right to be heard, and then listened and able to communicate to direct them in the direction that was towards what God wanted. You don't see him hollering and screaming and getting mad at
Yeah.
people and being ugly about it. It's the only people he did was religious people that didn't really.
Men.
Yeah.
Right, yeah,
Religious men.
yeah, religious men who,
We're going too far.
not kind.
Abusing
Yeah.
the power.
Exactly. So this is
So-
the research. I knew I'd seen this somewhere. Millennial dads, they said in the 1980s, the same polled dads, what percentage of dads had ever changed one diaper in the 1980s? You want to guess?
I have no idea.
Courtney told me this once, and I don't remember it, but it's like less than 5%, isn't it?
It's 60% by the 80s.
Oh.
So this one's almost half of dads had changed a diaper once. Now it's 97% of dads say
Yeah.
that they've changed a diaper one time in their life.
And I would just go back to is like, this is what I mean though, is some people would say that's less masculine.
Right.
And I'm going, no, that's a servant.
Yeah.
that is like, no, I'm here to serve you, honey, just like you're serving me. And I always put it this way in like the world of marriage. And Angie's way better at this than me.
She has an open invite. Come back.
Yeah, she would. But what I mean is, ideal marriages where both parties die for each other at a level through service that is undeniable and super attractive. When you move to selfishness, it's very unattractive. And that's why Jesus is the example of that. So, like, if you look at Jesus' relationship to the church was a beautiful model, because he said, it's the bride of Christ. Well, why did he use wedding and marriage illustrations? I think it's because it was kind of like for us, just like, and what did he do for the church? The bride. He died for the bride. In the same way, when you see someone serve and sacrifice and love, you want to die for them. When you're ugly, you're like, man, I ain't doing that. So whether that's load the dishwasher, help wash clothes, or whatever, and I'm the one that can be not kind because of edgy, male, tired, whatever, use my excuses, where Angie has been very, very good at serving and sacrifice, which makes her more attractive, which makes me want to turn around and serve her back. And then in an ideal world, we're out dying each other and out serving each other, not based on my role. It's like it's based on the fact that Christ set us to be that example, that you lay down your life for one another, especially your spouse. And that's not, and that's both ways.
Right. It's supposed to be both.
Yeah, that's like not the male or it's both of us. And then when you see that, how can I serve you? What can I do to help today? Well, you could load the dishwasher, or hey, you could give the kids a bath. And we joke about it. One of the hardest things that I did as a young dad was comb Emma's hair. Like we used to joke about it. She'd get in the bathtub,
Yep.
and her hair would just turn in, and I'd have to sit on the edge of that tub, which was extremely just awkward the way our tub was, and condition and and we were in the pool a lot, so it was dry, Matt. And we joke about it. Me and him are like, Dad, I'm like, oh, I know your hair very well. Well, I wasn't more or less masculine doing that. It was just like, as a dad, hey, I can do that. I mean, I can be a part of that. But I would think that part of it is an over masculine too, is being like celebrated too. It's like this aggressive, hard, like abrasive language and tough. And I'm like going, I don't know if that's it, because I don't see Jesus doing that. So in the model of masculinity, to me, the ultimate man is Jesus. So what did he do and how did he live? You don't see him being ugly. You don't see him being, now he did have a beard, grow a beard, man. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? I can't. I've never been a beard guy. You look good in one, Josh.
Right.
Struggling.
Y'all got kind of half beards going on right now. I don't know what y'all are. But I don't think a beard or an external thing, I mean, jokingly, it, makes the man. I think it's really how you treat people. And if you're more like Christ, and I think that's as masculine as you can be. And that's not what's always necessarily portrayed at in our culture.
Toxic masculinity.
Yes. Yeah. That's where I go, try to be respectful. And I got, 2 daughters and a son. So I see them struggling and trying to figure out all of that, like in this culture. But I always say, just keep going back to Jesus. Do not look to culture to define that. And do not look to what somebody else said. Is just look at the ultimate example, because he really is the best example at it. So he's loving, he's kind.
Striving to be, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, why would you look at that when you can look at him and how that looks? And with kids, a great example. Look how gentle he was with children. They were all like trying to shoo him off, and it was like, and he's like, no, man, this is it. Like, come on in here. They couldn't have women in the room, and he was inviting women in the room. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, there's so many different examples of that. And for that culture, thousands of years ago, is talking about countercultural.
Revolutionary.
It was revolutionary. And now here we are still today struggling with some of the same things. It's kind of crazy, But anyway, I don't know if that helped Matt, but maybe that was, good fodder for discussion.
Absolutely. He said, I think that Jesus did set the example that we should be doing: respect women, serve others, protect others.
Yep.
He washed feet. We can bathe babies.
That's exactly right, man. That's a beautiful thing. It's like,
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's just kind of silly, really, to think, because I think it's movies, culture, television. We have all those things that kind of model what they think that is.
Stereotypes.
Yes, and then you kind of come back and go, just go to Jesus.
And honestly, that may be where people are seeing the shift is in the culture, because you see a lot more in these movies and stuff now. Like, who's our guy that has a movie coming out that's similar to Mr. Mom? It's
Nate
not,
Bargatze?
yeah, Bargatze,
Yeah.
Breadwinner, and he's supposed to be taking on the motherly roles or whatever like that, and you see a lot more dads doing that now. You see the dads taking their kids to school, which I guess
Caleb on our
three of
staff
us up
had a
here have
basically
done that,
stay-at-home dad. He
Yeah.
worked at home, and he was there for most of the time and did them. So it's a different generation. That wouldn't happen.
No. Well, and it's interesting. I'm doing a funeral tomorrow for an amazing man, Papa Joe Lott, which he was. It's talking about generationally speaking. His dad was in World War II. Okay, and so when his father came back from World War II, he pretty much, which is very masculine. It's America. We're serving, whatever it is. Well, he abandoned his son. He abandoned his family. And what's crazy is Papa Joe, the grandfather, and Joe's dad, forgave him and took him back in and took care of his aging father, even after he had abandoned him and all this other stuff. And I'm like, and he was a strong Christian man, but I was like, that was the Jesus moment. It was like the guy was unable and not capable of loving his family. And he goes, I forgave him, and I took him back in. And I'm thinking, that's Jesus. That's masculine. That's next level, that you would, in the midst of culture like today, we don't understand going away to war like that, like the majority of us. This was drafts, and like the end was the Great Depression.
Less communication.
Great Depression. There's no money, and you just go through. Part of why those generations were the way they were is what they went through. It's kind of like what I said in the message a couple of weeks ago. The trials and the tests proved them to be tougher and stronger in many ways. We have our own sets and our own different challenges, but that they could forgive. And then he came back around, and Joe was talking about he got to sit with his dad in the end days of his life, sitting on the back porch and connecting and discussing and talking about things. But we brought up how in our generation, and I would be the same as what Joe's saying, ironically, his dad, who forgave his dad, did not go to church for almost 20 years, and his mama led Joe the son back to church. And so we were talking about, I said, well, what brought your dad back to church? And he said, man, when we moved to Bossier, he's flipped a switch and said, I think we should go to church. And 20 years of not going to church, he just flipped a switch and decided to lead not only just his home, but then the spiritual life. So we were talking about that because I had the chance to meet him, and he wrote this huge book and all these experiences in his life. And I'm thinking, I said, well, what do you really remember about it, Joe? And he said, well, my mom is what I remember, because just in my life, my mom led the spiritual life. Well, that's where I go back to now, is like, who leads the spiritual life in your kid's life? You know, in your family's, like, is it the mom, or is it the dad, or is it a combination of both? And that is the challenge of in this generation, is like, some we don't even lead to church. It's like, man, we're on the baseball fields or whatever. It's just not as important as it used to be. But what we were talking about is like, my mom, we wouldn't miss. For some reason, there was something in my dad could miss. He'd be like, I'm going to do something, whatever. But a woman was like, no, this is a valuable thing that we're going to stick to. And maybe that's because men, you know, we have other things that we think's more important or don't care as much. And then as you get later in life, you go, man, that was a big deal. I really need to invest in my child or train my child. So, and me and Matt were talking about this Sunday. We're proud of our kids. He's proud of Landon. I mean, I'm proud of my kids. And, you know, it's amazing what they're doing with their life, serving and giving back and sacrificing for others. And, like, that's the ultimate example, whether they're a female or a male. But then, like, who's going to keep leading that? So, like, you're listening. That's where I go, God, I hope church is still a priority. Like, down the road, where we were talking about in a staff meeting, it's not.
Changing.
It's changing.
The least church generation in history.
Yes, and, I mean, we had a story this week where somebody, as you know, in Barstow Air Force Base, they hadn't been to church but one time in their life.
On a field trip.
On a field trip. This is like reality. It's like where I can't even understand that. But if you think about it, if you had parents or you grew up where like, well, there's other things that are important, and that's not as important, then the next thing you know, you look back and there's a generation that doesn't have that, and then they're really confused on what roles are or what it's supposed to look like, or how do you get through everything from stress to worry to anxiety to
what's your basis? What do you live off of?
Yeah, like what's your
basing your life off of?
Right. So
It's anchoring you.
And for me, I can't imagine that without Jesus, but then to think that there's generations that don't have it, don't really believe it, don't really
Doesn't
trust.
normally go well.
No, it's like, you know. So anyway, I don't know if that's, you know, if that helps anybody out there, but really I started thinking about, like, if you're going to change something, even if you could make church a priority bare minimum once a month, maybe twice a month, can you imagine what the long-term ramifications would be on the positive side? Yeah. But if you don't and you get out of the habit and you go, I'm not going to do it, can you imagine what the long-term ramifications are?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So then you go back and go, like, because when I look at my life, my mom, which it was a female, led that. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I wouldn't have this
It's
journey.
Totally different.
Same.
Yeah.
I mean, both my parents, they got invited by a neighbor to church when I was in kindergarten or first grade, and they both got baptized as adults. Had grown up. One was Catholic, the other one didn't really go, and it totally flipped a switch in my life. I remember a time we didn't go, and then we were there every time the doors were open, and it totally changed that direction. And it was an invite from a friend that got them to go to church, and they got it, and in their 20s were new parents and trying to figure it out. And I just think about, like, this 4th of July thing and all these different things we tried to do, Man Day, all that silly stuff, is to give you a chance to try to invite somebody, because you never
Get
know
you in the door.
what it's going to do for them and then the next generation behind them. Josh getting ready to go to camp and take middle school kids. Christy's there with simple kids right now. They've got a great group of kids, and those were influential, life-changing moments in my life.
Oh, same with me.
Camp and doing
And me getting here, that all started, 20-some-odd years ago, and an invite my mom got to go to church down the road, First Baptist Bossier.
Yeah.
And 20 years later, I mean,
it wasn't just a straight up and to the right path.
No.
It's not. There's weaves and
because
things that change.
there was a time where I wasn't, when we moved to Kansas, it took us a while to find a church, and then, for a while I wasn't going to church at all. I still, read my Bible from time to time and still believed in God and still believed all the stuff, but I wasn't regularly attending church, and it was because we didn't have a home. And I can tell you, that was some of the roughest years of my life.
Yeah.
Straight up. But at the same time, I am thankful that I had a wife who is very similar to my mother in that we're going to church every Sunday. We're not missing, like you talked about.
And Layla picked that up too.
Yeah, she gets my father-in-law in trouble about it all the time. But like seeing that, and then when I eventually got out of the previous job that I was in that allowed me to go to church consistently every Sunday, because I would work a lot of Sundays, so sometimes I couldn't go. But now that I didn't even have that excuse anymore, it's like, well, you better be there, because for one, Layla's gonna get you.
Right.
But number two, this is good for your life, man. This is helping you. These things are helping feed your spirit. And so, I've seen as I've consistently gone and then gone from, just attending every Sunday to volunteering every Sunday to now working every Sunday. It is a lot of work. And like you said, it's not that straight upward trajectory, but I do see the positive fruits of that.
Yeah.
Well, I just go back. That's why, too, you're trying to make, like, people, it's like Simple Church is different. But you're trying to make it where it's enjoyable, too.
Want to be here.
Like,
right?
yeah, that's fun.
Whether wanted to come back to church and missed it. That's for
right.
us.
So you go back, whether
we're
that's
emotional about
kids
that.
or
Yeah.
events or special fun things or silly music occasionally or, we got family night coming up in August. There's all these little things you're trying to do. And what's funny is it's almost like, I just don't know. You don't got to do it. But then when you look back, those are the things that your kids remember, your friends remember,
What do you
we
do instead?
remember.
Right.
It's like we all go back to that, whether that's a camp or a fun. I can remember I was thinking about it the other day. I saw this picture somewhere. We brought in some motorcycle / bike
I got
thing.
jumped over by a.
I was in the
remember
same
that.
picture. We're
Yeah.
laying down by each other,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking it was just
out
fun.
by the,
Yeah.
the back of the building.
Yeah, but I'm
There's
just
a
going
BMX
like,
crew,
yeah,
right,
you
and
just
then
go
the
like,
dirt bikes.
as silly as all of it is,
You
it's
remember.
like you're just trying to go, man, that was a fun thing. That was something unique
Oh,
and
that was-
and fun to do. And I go back and think, we can do anything too. Like we have the opportunity. You can do nothing, and you will end up, and your kids will bail out. That's the other thing. Is like really like mission trips. I like my kids will not miss Juarez. I mean, like they're excited. Like, Dad, we're going. I'm like, yes, we're going. Well, that's what I mean. Is like whatever it is, there's something special and unique about it, and you get those memories together. You get to create those memories together. Sometimes fun, sometimes serving, sometimes crazy, sometimes calm, sometimes different. But those are the things that you look back on and go, man, like it's really happening.
Yeah.
You know, like this is it's now.
It's your life.
It's
flying
now.
by.
It's flying by quick. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we got folks watching. Again, you can join us Facebook on Mondays live. David Kruger excited about the 4th. Matt's giving feedback again. Then Ann Williams said her husband Phil, the Butter Boys, they had a lot of trouble with Megan's hair. They understand.
That's not easy. I can
That's
promise
right.
you. But they're another great set of parents. They're trying to create experience. They come to church. They serve together.
I say they serve with their daughter, who, as an adult, wants to be around them, wants to hang out.
And
That's a
I hear
win.
people tell me all the time, like, I mean, my kids want to be with us. We go to the movie. We hang. They're like, how did you get your kids wanted? I'm like, we have fun together. I mean,
good
we're
start.
like, we go, we just, we have these memories together. And I think that's what's weird is like
A lot of
the
people don't.
Christianity, and Christianity is a part of that because you want them to see and experience and the Holy Spirit to really work in their life to change them to be more like Him, which that's what makes everybody attractive. Like whether that's even parents, you're like, man, there's something cool about the way that they love and serve others, and you want your kids to see it and do it. And then when you're all trying to do it, there's something cool about it, So thankful, very thankful.
Absolutely. All right, the message yesterday, he had a motivational speaker open for you.
Yeah, John's always a good motivational speaker. He jokes about it because we've asked him, like, when everybody went down, I said, hey, do you want to speak? He looked at me like I was the devil. And I'm like, you used to
He used to
speak
do it more
occasionally?
regularly, yeah.
I mean, you act like this is strange. And then Chip will be the same thing. What? What do y'all? I'm like, Chip is what you used to do
Every week.
I mean, why is this
Yes.
crazy? Why do y'all act like this is crazy talk?
And
This is-
then he rock, paper, scissors, Brian, right? He lost.
Yeah.
Or won, I guess. 'cause
Yeah, he
Brian
won.
did.
Yeah, and then Brian did. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? Like this is crazy. So, but anyway, we were glad to have John in there to speak and to have a little fun and cut up because he definitely is the
fun.
expert on that. I am not an expert on speed and cars.
Speaking of masculinity.
Yeah, if that's the
Car
definition, I
knowledge,
am
yeah.
not a masculine man.
Me neither.
Now I have a Jeep. I like that, but that don't mean me, make me masculine.
There's some cool cars. It's fun just walking around looking at them.
Yeah.
I know where to put the gas in the car, and I know how to change the cabin air filter. That's about it.
That's good.
Well, I can change the oil. I did teach Ian back in the day, and taught Hannah for that matter to change the tire. I mean,
Yep.
we had to go out there and
Can you
go,
change
hey,
the tire?
like, hey, you got to be able to change the tire. Ian, we were like,
change
show
the
you how to
tire.
change the oil. But cutting up, I mean, my brother he's knows way. Him and my dad, that was their connection. I was sports, they were cars, you
Yep.
know. So,
So I was thinking about it. The God acceleration is the message. If you missed it yesterday, you can check out the full message. Go to the show notes, do that. How do you feel like you discern when it's time to hit the pedal and go and when it's not? Because
Now
we
the
talked
next,
about-
the next series I'm going to do is
Yeah,
it's
all right.
coming up. I won't tell
Little
you, but
tease.
I'm working on the next series because I am a pedal to the metal guy.
Really?
Yeah. So by nature, by spirit, by whatever, and my reasoning, probably the way I'm built, like God made me.
Wiring. Yep.
But then the other part of it is it changed around the launch of Simple Church. And what I mean was, served for 16 years in a church, 15, 16 years, and did what I thought what God was asking me to do. And we saw a lot. Everybody's been influenced. Brought my friend Bobby into it. All of us were doing all of that for what we knew God was asking us to do. But I also was pausing and waiting and slowing down.
And when do you feel like that started? Like how long into?
Oh, I
serving
knew
ministry?
immediately that I should be doing some things and just chose not to do it. So in other words, like you get in your gut like a calling or a way. And why the reason being, it's not that one way of church is wrong and one way is right, but when you're doing church one way and you go, man, we might could reach more people if we do it this way, but they won't do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You keep going, well, they're going to. Eventually we'll figure it out. Eventually we're going to try something. And it wasn't that they weren't reaching some people. It was just different.
Yeah.
But I knew God was asking me to launch Simple Church, and I waited and 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 waited. And I had God given me, quote, confirmations and like, hey, you should. So after I really had to go through rough trials to get to the point where you pulled the trigger. So people were leaving. The church was struggling. This was where we were coming from. There was fighting going on and internal. There were and it was finally God was like, "You ready yet?" You know, I was looking at other churches and those doors closed, and it was like, "It's now." And then I went for it, and then as a result, you see 18 years and what all's happened. You go, all right. Then in that point, you realize I don't want to do it again in my life. I don't want to be accused of waiting. And Chasing Daylight with Irvin McManus was probably the biggest book that influenced that. And if you read it, it's going to mess you up. Because Matt Sanders read it. I gave it to Matt. It's just because you justify your inactivity based on spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, well, I'm just waiting on God to tell me.
For it.
I'm praying about that. I'm thinking of, and then I go back and go, this is why, like a Kathy Carter, I could go through so many, Miss Pat and John Cox, elderly. When I joke about that, they're not old. We're just older than me. So maybe 10 years older than me. This would be the time I'm just chilling. I'm not going to do it. Kathy's driving over, volunteering, giving her time, working at why? Because you realize also the older you get, how much less time you have. So you start, like when you're young, y'all just like, I'll get to it. I'll get around to it. Sooner or later, that's going. When the truth is, man, it's flying by. And so if you don't seize those opportunities, you can miss those opportunities. So there's an urgency that happens, and you go, there's a downside that you don't chill, that you don't relax, that you don't. And my kids are always telling me that, like, oh, my God, Dad, do you ever relax? Do you ever whatever? But we're not talking about building my bank account. You're talking about the kingdom of God. So when do you get the chance to go, that's cool, I don't need to worry about that? Mm-hmm. Or do you go like, no, man, I'm driven more than ever? And what's confusing to people, even like the boardwalk, I hear people say all the time, I don't know why you're putting so much time and energy and blah, 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 blah. Is because what if this is the vehicle that God uses to further the kingdom, and it's not what you think it is? See, because we always think it's got to be this way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, but God goes, well, no, I'm trying to do something else. And then I'm not, before I probably would have said, well, let's just wait and see. I don't do well with that anymore, because it's like, man, time is flying by, and without pushing, you don't know, and then you can justify your inaction, and then you go, well, I'm just waiting under the shade tree, and eventually, and you'll see it in the scripture of that book if you go read it. You know, it's the armor bearer and Jonathan. It's all these illustrations, and I kind of go, I get it. So then another good example would be Moses. I mean, just in general, he's like, well, I'm just going to wait. And God eventually is like, dude, it's now. Like, what are you waiting on? And then he was still, I'm not good enough. I'm not a good speaker. And he's like, no, I don't. And look, when you look at all these biblical stories, how many times rich young ruler. I'm not going to really give up what I got. I mean, I know you're telling me I got to go, but it's like, no, there's this urgency because life is short. It's very, very, very short. And there's seasons, but I realize now at 56, it's kind of like, man, it's an urgent. There's an urgency that you go, let's try. Maybe you reach one more person because of this event, or maybe because you tried to have some fun and enjoyed the journey, that your kids got to see something that they would have missed if you had just sat back on. So whether that's going on a trip or whether that's helping some, like the prison ministry thing coming up on July, I'm not going to miss the people. Like, well, don't you need a break? Yes, and I don't disagree with that. Sometimes God makes you take a break and slows you down. But I like the phrase, I'd rather burn out than rust out. And what I mean is, most of the time in the church, we justify inaction. It's not that we're overly active. It's most of the time it's kind of like, I'm good. I mean, and the more you have, the more comfortable you get. Mm-hmm. So, and that's life, kids, houses, cars. So then what happens is people, as you age, you begin to slow down. Well, everybody will tell you, you just quit moving, you die. Movement is life. So, like, if that's in a church, that's in health. So, like, I'm out walking 3.5 miles again yesterday and 2.5 the day before, and Angie's like, did you get permission? I'm like, movement is life. So, like, I'll know if I don't feel good, obviously you have to stop or pause or what's going to go on. But on the other side of it is we only got so much. And then when you look at 56, let's just say I got a good 30 left. And then the last 5 are a little bit dicey. 25 years is all you got, if God blesses and if he's willing. Mm-hmm. So then, and the decisions that I would make as the leader that God put me in, of my home to the church, you want me to just chill, see how it works out? Just start going, well, not care. Yeah. Hey, it's all good. It'll all work out. And I'll go back and, I don't know. I think there's times that's true, but I think we really have to be aware of going, okay, this is it. It's like this is it. And then looking at the scripture, like these are stories I didn't talk about in the message. He had to get to Moses. He had to get to the water without an answer. And suddenly it splits.
And I never noticed that word, how many times it showed up like that before.
Oh, it's like, and it's like, and here's the problem. And here's the problem is he's looking for the person to get to the edge. It's like we're kind of waiting back. I mean, sometimes, sure, there's wait. And I know that's a characteristic of God. Sometimes it is pause because you don't want to rush into something. But it's ironic how many times we use this as an excuse, and I did, for inactivity. Well, I'm praying through that. I'm not really sure. Like, I'm going to have to kind of wait and see how that works out. And I'm like, no, man, maybe I should go for it, and then I'll get a clearer answer. And in the book, there's a chapter, go till you get a no. I tell my kids this all the time. Ian's in New York. I just don't know if I'm supposed to go or not. I'm like, go till you get the no, son. You just go. Go till you get the no. And those principles that were 20 years old for me now, reading in that book, still apply to me. It's like coming to the board, knocking on the door. I seen the guy, go till you get a no. And then what's a yes? Then I'm more scared. Oh my God! I mean, we're asking Fred to launch.
Think of me, yeah.
Yeah, like, and there was true. I mean, I'm making light of all that, but I didn't ask anybody. So then I had to come back and go, hey man, is everybody really going to be okay with it? And they weren't at first. There was tension in there. It's like, I don't know if this is a good idea. But then what if we didn't? That's where I love the leadership team. Eventually, we're like, we're going to not launch in the bar that they're willing to give it to us because of there's alcohol in there. Like, what if we do and we reach people? And we did. We baptized people. It helped the church further itself. Mud bugs, yeah, Scott Musket and all them, and bringing in, and like Kenny Carroll, he gave his life here. He got baptized here, and I'm like, what if you didn't? So God can do anything, but I think the lesson is for me. It's like my journey, and it's for anybody individually. It's like, how often do you justify inaction? I personally was one that would justify it. I'd go, it'll all work out. So it's like even now, whether it's open eyes, we're getting back together again. I just don't know if we should do it. Let's pray about it. No, let's go. I mean, like, why not? Like, let's go, because we're all getting older. I could blow my voice out. One of us could be dead tomorrow. God calls us home early. But no, let's go. We got a chance. Let's go. Why would we not do board? That's what's funny. Like, boom, that's a lot of work. And depending on personality, I'm like, yeah, but what if we reach 10 people, 100 people? What if some people came to the church? What would that have been worth to you? So my leadership or my mindset, and God put me in the position, and I understand that, it has to be keep pushing it. And understanding that some people get motion sick and some people love to just sit back, and that's okay. But I can't let that keep you from doing what you feel like God's asking you to do. And nobody else should either. Like, I don't know what all that might be for people, but, first mission trip. I got a good friend, Jason's, his fear is like, I just don't know if I'm doing. I'm like, you're missing it. You think you're going to do it next year? You think you'll wait till the next? You're not getting any younger. What if you have a health thing between now and then? Whatever, why wouldn't you go? What is holding you back from doing what God's asked you to do? Whatever it is. And then go, okay, God, I want to be, by faith, aggressive. And I'm going to be willing to take those steps. Best example is following Jesus. What if they said, I want to wait and think about it? And some people did. And what did he say? You're not fit to be my follower. Now just think about that. Yep. They're like, let me go bury my mom. I got some family business I got to handle. He said, you ain't fit to be my mom. I got to go. You're not fit to be in the family. I think it's pretty clear. Now, again, not saying that the characteristic of rest is not important, and I'll talk about that. That's a hint for the new series coming, because I'm learning some of those things. Like sitting on the porch at 56 in the evening with no media, I can appreciate that. I didn't appreciate that when I was y'all's age. You know what I'm saying?
I do now.
Like turn everything off and but at 56 it's different. But my goal is to be refreshed, to get up and put the pedal to the metal. Yeah. Not to go, man, I need more time on the porch. I love the beach. We already know that. I love that time away as a staff, but y'all don't see me doing a whole lot when I go down there. I'm not writing the next series. I'm like, man, I'm chilling. This is my time. My family vacation that we take in November, I don't do anything. I don't have a big agenda. So there's seasons that in my life I may take some time off. Sure. But in general, man, life's short, very short. And doing what we do for a living, you see it: death, sickness. And it hits
our
you out of
Mr. Nelson. Yeah,
Mr. Nelson. One of our greatest, sweetest man greeting is with Jesus now. So some people are like, well, one day I'm going to greet. Well, look at all the people he blessed, all the memories. What if he didn't do it? What if he was still waiting to do it? That's where I go back and go, no, man, go for it, dude. Like, go for it. It's now. Like, try it. Go for it. While you got a chance, while you got breath. This life is short, and being obedient to what God's asked you to do. Miss Kathy came by yesterday, and she had something she needed to be obedient on or whatever, which was a huge blessing, and I'm very, very thankful. But most people miss it. And Kathy's like, I know what God's asking me to do. And I'm like, that's awesome, man. Because it's not an age thing. She lost her husband. You could be whining. You could be laid up in the bed. She could quit. She could take her foot off. She would have a great reason to take her foot off the accelerator. Nobody would judge her. But she got her foot on the pedal. I got to go help Angie in the Paducah store. Hey, I'm volunteering for this, and I'm like going.
Becoming a pen pal with a prisoner.
Pen pal. I'm just like, when you get to heaven, he ain't going to be mad at you. That's where I go back to. It goes back to the parable of the talents. What happened? Who got in trouble?
The guy buried it in the ground.
I'm waiting.
I played safe.
Now just think about it. So I have a feeling that when you look at the characteristics of God, that's why I was bringing up the message. It hit me a long time back, and I'd never really worked on it. Is like he is a God of speed. He is a God that makes things happen quickly. But he's also looking for people that are sensitive enough to hear that and go, man, this is it. I need to do this. And truthfully, praying, making sure you're meeting with them. But then when it's time to move, you move. And my kids, this is where they always go back. I'm afraid I'm going to mess up.
Fear of failure.
I'm like, how can you mess up? Well, like, what if... No, it'll be the turn that got you to the next thing. Because we have a God that we can trust. He loves you. Trust him. Do what he asks you to do. And you can't mess up. So they're like, yeah, but what if... I'm like, you're not going to mess up. If you're seeking him, and even if the boardwalk fails, I didn't mess up. Even if you try to go on the mission trip and it wasn't exactly what you thought, no, it'll be the turn in there to help you go to the next thing. So it's like, to me, I just see it or view it differently, and I go like, thank God. I mean, I was a janitor at one point. I was mopping floors. Those were days that I was like, okay. But then it was like, what do I need to do next? Well, me and Alan went church to church to say, anybody want to lead worship?
Put yourself out there.
And that's the guy in there leading God Gave Rock and Roll to us yesterday. Nobody really remembers that, but like we were young, dumb, just trying to do what God's asking us to do. We moved to Nashville. Go. I saw Peggy, my old district manager from Gadzooks, here yesterday. Mm. And I remember going to her, like when you're at Nike, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to Nashville. And she was like, go for it. Go for it. Like, I knew I had to do it. So it's like you go, like, and then that led to the next thing, and it led to the next thing. And it's like right now you're going, what if I'm going to wait and pray about whether I'm supposed to do, okay. Well, then what if you miss the next thing? Mm-hmm. And I don't believe that God will just, but I do think disobedience has consequences, just like I believe obedience has blessings. I mean, like when he was sitting there saying the water into wine or whatever, it's like she said, do what he says. you might want to remember that one. Hey, and he's like, hey, man, go fill those things up. That made no sense to them. Why are we putting water in these things?
Hand washing nasty water.
Like, well, yeah, why would we be doing this? And then it's the best. Instantaneously. Pop. Done. That's a real story of our Savior. Not a made-believe, not something kind of like, that's really his first miracle, which is so many funny things in there that his mama's telling him, it's now. And he's like, the timing ain't right, mama. She's like, boy, that to me is hilarious. Because it's like, that's the real tension. Like, why would you write that story in there if it wasn't real? Like, hey, man, you should have sat there and seen the tension in that moment. So that to me is like, all of that's powerful. And you could go through how many other stories. I could give you a bunch. But, it's like, I think we all get it, It's like, I've given you a few. Parable of Talents is a pretty good one, too.
Chasing Daylight. Great book. Go get inspired. Go.
Yeah, I haven't read it in a long time. I really need to read it again, but it probably really will mess you up. Then I'd probably be double pedal to the metal. Everybody be really mad.
You got a lot going on right now. You're doing it. You're living it out, and we're all thankful for it.
Oh, I'm thankful for the team. That's the other thing is like, there's nothing better than getting on the journey with people that want to be on the journey. So there's also torture when you look at people and they don't want to be on the journey. So what I always say is if you really don't think you're supposed to be here, then don't be here. Because you could be hindering what the next thing is.
And we've had staff that have left and some gone chase dreams that wanted to do.
And I told them to go launch it. And
our blessing.
And God blessed, again, there's a lot of different things. But the reason I say that is God puts people together and there's lessons in all that. And then our job is all of us to come together and go, how do we make it better? So like, what's my role in that? I can do this one little part, or I can do that one little part. And like the best example right now, another one would be Angie. Like she had no idea she'd be doing the podcast. I mean, pre-show, she had no idea she'd be doing Do Good, but she's pedaled to the metal. I mean, really. And then all of a sudden, here comes Christy Montgomery, and here's Lisa. Lisa McDaniel is retired. Her and Donnie sold the store and said, finally, we can rest.
We can sit down.
We're going to market this week. Like, let's go, pedal to the metal. And they're like, but like, yeah, they were going to sit on the porch. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they in grandkid era.
More to do.
It's like, and then what? And it doesn't mean, and that's what I think is, it's got to be, God wants you to enjoy your life. There's nothing to me more enjoyable than serving Him, though. So that's to me, it's like I don't know what I did. Other jobs, I had other things in there, and you can do that and serve God in there. But there ain't nothing like going, man, I'm all in. What you need me to do, and I'm in. Matt Sanders, I'll give you one more on Matt. Matt's making jewelry for men's jewelry out of nowhere. Why? He's like, man, I enjoy it. Do it. Let's go. And it's awesome. So then why? Because that money goes to help somebody else, and then it gives him purpose, and he tells the story. And what are you waiting on? Why? Why would you wait? So anyway.
Life short. That's it. And this podcast flew by.
Yeah, we started out with soccer and got into some real good stuff.
Absolutely. Good question. We'd love to hear your questions. Email podcast@thesimplechurch.tv. And again, remember, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple later, you can come back and join us every Monday, 3:30 live. Get your comments in there. Like Lynette saying that Miss Kathy's a joy to serve with at the Do Good store.
Well, and Lynette is another great example of it. Me and Angel were bragging on Miss Lynette. From the time she's gotten here, she's one of those people. She serves in kids. She serves in Do Good. And these are, retirees. So then you go back and look back at your life. Now, some people say, well, they got more time to do all that. That's true. But I pull back and go, if you're a young person, when you look back at your life, the things I don't regret is when I really went for it and served God.
Right. Never.
So I go back and go, just look at the mission trips, the moments that he asked you to do stuff. And unfortunately, there's a struggle in culture where there's other things that are taking those priorities.
And it seems like the opposite.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I push back on the not having time thing. I think you have time for what you prioritize.
Yeah.
And so it's a similar thing when people talk about tithing to the church. I know we don't talk about that too much, but one of the principles that people tell you, or even with a savings account and a bank account, they tell you to put that money in first before you even touch it.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is when you go back to talking about serving in whatever capacity, if you prioritize that first, if you put that first at the forefront and then let everything else fall in place after that, you're not going to miss out on those opportunities. You're not going to say you don't have time for that.
Big rocks first.
You know, like I don't have time to fold any laundry. Sure, yeah, I can fill up my time with a bunch of other stuff. But when my wife tells me to put that at the forefront,
you do
make sure that laundry gets folded.
Yeah, that's clear.
You know, but so that's why I always struggle with the don't have time for it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I don't do that too with a myriad of things that don't have time for, and I'm sitting here scrolling on my phone. But it's whatever you're gonna prioritize. How important is it to you?
Yeah, and on that giving thing, that's a big one because really. So many people have started to give, and their testimonies are obvious. And I would be one. Me and Andrew have been that way. There's been blessings come out of nowhere, and we've been faithful in our giving, and God goes, boom, there it is. And I'm just telling you, God, I'm thankful, and everybody who has ever helped us in any way, we're just very, very grateful because, man, it's amazing how he does it.
Debt-free this week.
Debt-free. I mean, we paid off a $1.1 million out of nowhere because someone else's generosity 18, 16 years ago. Now, think about that. They gave, and we were able to buy the land. That land 18 years later had no idea that that would be what we would need to pay off the remaining debt that we have.
Radar at all. But God knew.
Sometimes God works fast. Sometimes he wants you to play the long game.
Yes, sir. He's like, man, just roll on with it. You heard
That's
me.
it. One last good note. Scott Whitecotton said, one of my regrets in life is not going on a mission trip sooner.
Yeah.
When as an adult for the first time, it's not too late.
It ain't too late.
Juarez going in July. We'll put the link so you can sign up. Join us.
We're going. I'm going.